Let's watch Jessica Tarlov on Fox News The Five shutting down her MAGA co-host, and by default, the propaganda the MAGA base is spewing about the New Orleans attack and immigration, as now we know is typical of them. They're just trying to lie to make it fit their narrative.
But when you say I'm embarrassed watching Joe Biden, I'm not embarrassed seeing someone stand up there and saying, let's wait for some facts here, because Donald Trump went out there and he said,
is that what he said? I couldn't understand.
No, he assured
you guys
Americans
know exactly what he said. No, listen to all of the comments that he made and the statements which said we need to make sure that we have the right facts. And the right facts were that the guy in New Orleans was an American. He wasn't an illegal
Nobody's
crossing.
saying he wasn't.
That's not true. That's not true. There have been Republicans who have been on TV today talking about how this is an open border.
I'll call them myself.
You call them. That it's an open border
not
problem.
Not mutually exclusive. That's not a mutually exclusive problem. You can have someone who's homegrown,
but you know
radicalized,
what they're trying to do? They're trying to conflate it. They're trying to make it out to be that it is a demonization
Both things can happen at the same time.
Undocumented people. That's what it was supposed to be. That's why he talked about it going to.
And we
but these aren't undocumented people. These are Americans.
75% of the arrests in the...
Why tell such an easily disprovable lie? We just covered this on the show yesterday. Here is the Truth Social of Trump himself blaming Democrats and saying it's because of the criminals getting into the country, meaning undocumented immigrants, as that's what he's called them and referred to them as the entire year on the campaign trail. You had multiple Republicans on their network, on Fox News, saying it was undocumented immigrants and we can't wait till Kristi Noem, Department of Homeland Security, comes in to prevent this and blah, blah, blah. We literally just covered this yesterday on my channel. The video is still up. People in my comments were saying these were Democrat-backed terrorist attacks because of Trump's Truth Social. Come to find out, the New Orleans guy is a veteran, a U.S. citizen, avid gun and crypto lover, and possibly a Trump supporter. We know his politics lean right. Not that it literally matters at all. And the man in the Tesla attack was a self-avowed Trump lover. Like, he loved Trump, also a U.S. citizen. So neither fit the narrative of immigrant, neither fit the narrative of a Democrat backed. So again, every conspiracy MAGA rushes to gets proven untrue and baseless, but none of this will matter. They're going to keep on making this conspiracy, saying this after every tragedy, trying to dramatize and politicize it, which is disgusting, by the way. And then when they're finally right, like the one time out of 100, they're going to act like, oh, we knew it the whole time and we're vindicated for the rest of our lives. And they weren't, just saying it until it ended up being right.
Well, we actually have a huge change in the amount of people that are getting into this country and the number of deportations. So we now have the lowest number of border crossings that we've had in 4 years. Going back
but they're flying them in. Why cross the border if you get a free flight?
It's not true. And we've removed 700,000 that they're just flying them in without,
they are.
without background checks.
Wait a minute. You think they're flying them in and they do background checks on them?
Yes, I do think that you get a background check.
From Chile, from
when you
Venezuela,
look at what's gone on with Mexico and Central America and the amount of cooperation that's been going on right now with the executive.
Are you telling me that Haiti, Guatemala, Venezuela are giving us background checks?
You're telling me that in the last year where we've gotten out over 700,000 people, which is the most that we have deported since the year 2010, that we have the lowest number of border crossings, that we have record seizures of drugs that are supposed to be coming across the border, that this is a wide open border.
So then why did Biden lose if he's so...
And the hilarious part about all of these objectively true facts about Biden and the border here is that MAGA is going to deny this for about 2 more weeks. They'll say the borders are open, even though they can't name a Biden policy that opened it, but or what an open border looks like. But the second Trump takes office, they're going to 180 and they'll tout these exact numbers as a success. I guarantee within 30 days from right now, they will be touting these numbers as a success. It's hilarious, right? Me going out and speaking with MAGA or talking to the clowns, the more brainwashed ones in my comments, these people literally don't understand the difference between causation and correlation. Causation, correlation, the people who don't understand the difference, right? Border crossings spiked in 2019 under Trump, then started to spike again in 2020, where Trump handed Biden a border that was a mess. Objectively, rising crossings almost at 1 million, set to keep on growing. Republicans then refused to legislate on the border as they were crossing and spiking horrendously, killed the border deal, the U.S. Citizenship Act of 2021 that Biden put forth in his first week. Yet we're supposed to believe that these border numbers are his fault, that it's spiking out of control this bad are his fault, even though it started under Trump and what he tried to do to stop it was blocked by Republicans. But now that he has it down, It's also not to his credit, but once Trump comes in, it'll be all because of him. But the spikes that Trump had under him are also not to his credit. Like, this is the political reality we live in, and this is why it's like frustrating to even talk to Republicans.
There are two stories being told about this perpetrator. One that, you know, people who took a moment to actually think about it and to get more information are telling, which is that this was a homegrown American terrorist. This is an American who was raised in Texas, who served in the United States military. And then there is another narrative that is being boosted by people who want to make a case about open borders, that this is someone who, you know, flew through Eagle Pass, drove to New Orleans and tried to kill a bunch of people.
Personally, I think this is the most despicable, or one of the most despicable things about MAGA. There are certain Trump supporters, certain people in MAGA, I can be like, whatever. You're brainwashed, you're wrong, believe what you want. We can move past it. You're still a good person, we're okay, whatever, right? Politics don't matter that much in some extent. But then there's some qualities MAGA can exhibit, that's like a certain portion of MAGA exhibits, that really just let me know what kind of person they are to the core, which is like, then why would I want to be your friend, right? Why would I be nice to you if these are your morals? Your politics and your morals are pretty closely intertwined, and your morals are what is, I'm going to determine if I want to, you know, like have you in my life or be around you. And this is why I think they're disgusting, because anytime a tragedy happens, somebody or multiple people die or come close, the first thing these MAGA people do is run to the first liberal you can think of. A lot of them run to my comments and they go, look at what the Democrats did. It was the Democrats. You want to know how many Republicans did this to me after the Trump shootings, that did this to me after this New Orleans attack? Like, they just get this in their head. They're like, it was the Democrats. Like, if Trump says it, Republicans start saying it, and then they repeat it. And it's disgusting, knowing damn well you don't even care about the tragedy. You don't actually care about the victims or what happened. You just saw it and saw this as, oh, this is something I can take to have the moral high ground. Like, what the fuck are we doing? People are dying, and I'm sorry to tell you, but if you're doing this, you're an absolute piece of shit. I don't even know how to mince words about it, honestly. And this is just the norm for so many in MAGA. Like, every single shooting this year, from the school shooting, I believe in Alabama, the Tuskegee University or whatever it was, to the Trump shooting, MAGA has tried to pin this on Democrats and the left one way or the other, and it's been absolutely fruitless every single time. But again, just wait. They'll say it 100 times, and then they'll finally be right once. They'll say, oh, this shooting was the Democrats, and then it will be someone who like posted or that they voted for Joe Biden in 2020, right? And then they'll pretend that means they're forever vindicated and every conspiracy they've ever thought of about the Democrats are true, instead of like, you know, if you say something 100 times, you'll probably get it right once. But when mass shootings happen because of right-wing ideologies, like all the like the shooting with the Great Replacement, the shooter that was inspired by Tucker Carlson, you can't blame the right. You can't blame Republicans for this, of course, even though these are actually common, and most shootings and incidents that they've tried to say were the left ended up being people that, if political at all, were definitely conservative, like both of the Trump shooters.